Hello world, welcome to the 212th video on my channel where I'm building my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies and comics. Please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment. And so when I say a digital assistant like Jarvis, I mean a comprehensive digital assistant that can do everything that Jarvis does in the movies and comics, right? So in real life, it's the perception of a single entity doing all of these different functions. In real life, it would be probably just one program connecting to various others. And so if you want to see my full plan, you can check out my 200th video special where I outline everything that I want to do and how I think I can do it. But for now, what most people consider a digital assistant is a chatbot, basically, right? That's what the movies have given us. You can talk to it, but in real life, again, most people use it like Alexa or Siri. And now I've created a video that has both voice recognition or speech recognition and speech to text. So you can make your own Alexa or Siri if you want, and you can watch that one by clicking here. But today, we're going to integrate ChatGPT into a very simple chatbot. And so when you use Siri, for example, and you say, Siri, do something that it can do, it will do it, right? Or if you say, Siri, tell me something, it should have data that it tells you. But if it can't figure it out, Siri will say that, pull up the web and say, this is what I found on the web, right? So that's the last step when it can't figure out what you want to do, right? It's not an inherent command. And so in this case, I'm going to use ChatGPT to answer questions, right? So instead of going to the web and doing the first Google response, right, which is what Siri basically does, it just reads the little snippet, like if you were to Google yourself. So instead, we're going to replace that function with ChatGPT. So let me show you real quick. So I'm just going to do it in the console instead of speech or voice recognition. And that way we can quickly go through and get to what you really want, which is just how to use ChatGPT. So I'm going to run this program. And so it's going to say, how can I help you, sir? But we would replace that with the wake up word, which in our case would be Shane. And so how can I help you, sir? So let's say do something. All right, my face went away. All right. So let's say do something to my home, right? So this would be like turn on my lights or something of that nature, right? So maybe some home automation. All right, so it's starting the do function, right? So it's going to do whatever I programmed it to do. So now let's say I have my stock information, right? So tell me about my stocks. So now it's going to retrieve some information gathered autonomously, right? So if you watch the rest of my videos, you'll see I'm creating my own dividend tracker. So I have all my dividend information for stocks. Soon I'm going to let it run my small business, so on and so forth. So I'm going to have automated programs running in the background, and I want Shane to get that information, right? So it's going to do that. So the next thing is, let's ask it a question, right? So it's not a doing thing, it's just a random question. So in the start of this video, assuming you're not pressing the double skip right to the code, you heard me say, hello world. That's how I like to start my introductions. That's very common in programming. So let's ask ChatGPT, why do we do that? So what does hello world mean in programming, in computer programming? All right, so now it's going to access ChatGPT, and it's going to give us quite a long answer. And it says, hello world is a traditional simple program often used in a computer programming to demonstrate basic syntax, functionings, and output of a programming language. And here we go. And it retrieved a ChatGPT answer. And then lastly, we'll just do a quit, and it exited the code. So there we go. We use ChatGPT in a digital assistant. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is go to platform.openai.com, which looks like this. If you've been using ChatGPT, then you already have a login. So just go ahead and log in under platform.openai.com. And then you should have your account here. Now go to your account here and go to View API Keys. Now, if you don't have a key, you can create your new secret key yourself. Name it something and you'll have a large key. And then go to usage. So after you've created your own secret key, go to usage. And for some people, you should have a free trial. If you're brand new to ChatGPT, you're just starting because you're watching my video, you will have free money here. I do not. Okay, so if you're in the case that I've had, you've been using ChatGPT for a while, and the initial amount is gone, then you'll need to upgrade. So you will have a lightning bolt with upgrade here, and click to upgrade. Enter your billing information. It's really cheap. This ChatGPT Turbo is super cheap. And so I've been using it in preparation for this video. And as you can see, I've already used not even 1 cent yet, right? So 0.0004 cents. And I think I've done 5 calls so far, or 4 calls in preparation for this video. And so it's not that much, but that being said, if you're planning to use the code I'm about to show you, please like this video, please leave a comment and subscribe, because I am spending money to show you this. And I will probably use ChatGPT in the future in Python, but not now. So this is purely for you. So please watch this to the end as well, because that's how I get paid more money. All right, and then so once you have that API key, so go here, go to edit. It'll show you the first time. Go ahead and copy and paste that API key. All right, so now that you have it copy and pasted, you can paste it directly into your Python code, right, if you have an empty file. And now you have an API key. So the next thing we're going to do is go to File, Settings, assuming you're using PyCharm. Go here, and then type OpenAI. And just OpenAI, you'll see dozens of OpenAI wrappers. But we're just going to use OpenAI and then install package. Or you can go to pip install OpenAI. And then once that's installed successfully, we can go directly to the documentation if you want to see this source code where I got it from. So if you scroll all the way down, this is where I got the code from right here. I'll show you what I actually deleted this part right here. So first we're going to import OpenAI. And now this gets confusing for people. Since I have a YouTube channel, I'm not going to show you my API key. So if you don't have a YouTube channel and you're just using it yourself, you can delete this line right here. And then OpenAI.API_key, instead of API key, this right here is where you copy and paste your own API key, right? But since I do have a paid API key, I can't show it here, or else, let's say this video goes viral, then people will run up my own paying usage amount. All right? So I hope that's not confusing for you. Then I created a simple function, so called ChatGPT, and we're going to pass it the content, which is the question that I asked. So chat completion equals OpenAI.chatCompletion.create. Then you're going to pass it the model. I'm using the GPT 3.5 Turbo. There is a GPT-4, but it's a little more expensive. I think it's a whole cent per usage, right? So if you're going to do this 100 times, it can rack up quickly. That's $1. It's not that fast. Where this is less than a cent. Then you're going to do messages. Role is user. User is me, right? There are other users like system, right? If you want to have a chat, you can create a chat log. But we're just doing simple one-time events, just like you would with Siri, right? So role equals user. Again, that's us asking it a question. Content equals content, and I'll show you what that is. But you can go ahead and get rid of this function if you want and just type in whatever you want. Like, is the earth round? Right? You can do that if you want. Just put a string in it if you want, but we're going to pass it the content. Right? And that's the end of this right here. Then we're going to do response equals chat completion dot choices. So if we were to print this whole out, you'll see several inputs, right? ChatGPT is going to look through all the possible solutions. We want the 0 index, the very first one, because that's the most likely response. Dot message content, all we want is the content. We don't care about the other information. And then return the response. So you can just copy and paste this code straight from GitHub right here. Copy that, paste it into PyCharm, and use it like that. I would get rid of this list models if you don't know, unless you don't know which model you want to use. Right? So go ahead and comment this out, print the data models, and see which one you want to use. Again, the ChatGPT Turbo 3.5 Turbo is the cheapest one, which is why I'm using it for this video. And then we're going to just do a simple else if block, right? So chatting equals true, right? So while we're chatting, it's going to keep asking this, how can I help you, sir? So while chatting, and in Python, that's the same thing as saying while chatting equals true. The command equals input. How can I help you, sir? Dot lower. It's always a good idea to put dot lower, dot upper when you're doing this kind of stuff. That way you don't have to worry about capitalization. And then I cheated, so I put if command dot starts with do. So I could have typed in anything in this beginning of the video. Then it's going to say print starting the do function. But if this was real, I would have either a separate file, or I would have a function up here that has maybe my home assistant, and I can turn on the lights or turn on my automated garden system or something like that. So else if, so elif command dot starts with tell, right? Then we retrieve some information gathered autonomously. So like I said, I would probably have Python programs running throughout the night or something, gathering information as I sleep. And then in the morning, I would run a program that I can retrieve it or process it or display it. And then this, I can just say, Shane, tell me my current portfolio value. And it would retrieve that information that's already been gathered. And then else if the command equals quit, then chatting equals false, and it would stop this while loop, as you saw, and it ended the program. Else, so like I said with Siri, if it can't figure it out, it says, let me find out what I found from the web, right? Or this is what I found from the web. Instead, we went to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT response equals ChatGPT, and we're going to pass it the command. So whatever I ask it to, then it activates this function. And then it's going to print whatever response is. All right, so unless we type in quit, it's going to keep going until we end the program in PyCharm. So I hope that gives you a valuable tool of how to implement ChatGPT. Again, please watch my how to make your own Alexa or Siri. I'll put a link in the description just in case the little card didn't come up earlier. And leave a comment and tell me how you plan to use this. And thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.